in this world, a lot of people ask me, hey, how do I stay happy when all this horrible crap's going on, and I just feel like I shouldn't be happy. I just like, if I try to be happy, I'm just like, I'm kind of like deceiving myself. I'm deceiving myself, and that the happiness isn't real happiness, because really I'm not feeling happy. And so if I try to pretend I'm happy, then it's just sort of just another lie, and then I'm just feeling bad because I'm lying to myself, and then I'm trying to be happy, and it's just kind of a silly, it's not really a happiness, it's sort of a fake happiness. It's a facade of happiness. Well, let's evaluate the situation. So, you find yourself like you're just full of anger and anxiety and hostility, and just the people getting on your nerves, and you start thinking you want to murder people and stuff, and I just say you don't want to murder people, because that's there's a lot of negative consequences to the murdering of people. So you might want to rethink. Don't do that. So you're wondering, so all this crap stuff's going on, and you're telling me I should be happy, and the happiness isn't changing any of the crappy stuff, and so I'm feeling it's just making me feel more crappy. Well, let's evaluate the situation. Most of the crap that's going on, most of which you have no control over. It's like stuff you just can't do. There's stuff you want to do, but you can't do the stuff because you're not in a position to do the stuff, and that stuff, so it's causing you a lot of hate and discontent in your life, and you're like, I don't like this at all. I'm mad and I'm sad and I'm just discouraged. Well, all that stuff's going to happen regardless of how you feel about it. So if you're feeling, this is terrible, this is horrible and crappy, well, your feelings of feeling terrible and horrible and crappy, even though you think by feeling terrible and horrible and crappy that somehow that you're going to magically make the thing stop being stop it from being magically horrible and crappy, well, then you're just illusioning yourself with that too, because that's also a lie. Because being miserable about the stuff that's miserable, you're still not going to change it. And then your mind's back there going, hey, we're doing everything we can. We're feeling miserable about the miserable situation, but the miserable situation isn't going anywhere. And then you feel even more miserable. But if we evaluate the situation and look at it from a different perspective, and we say, well, if I'm miserable in these miserable conditions, it's not going to change anything. In fact, it'll probably just make me even more miserable with misery. But if we look at the other hand and we say, hey, what if I just go ahead and say, well, what can I learn to benefit from this situation? And what can I value, and what can I do to improve as a human being? What important lessons can I learn? And you learn, patience, and being cool in under duress, and that's stuff. And so you just decide, well, I'll just be happy and relaxed, because the bad stuff, horrible stuff's gonna happen, regardless if I feel bad about it or not. So I might as well just say, hey, I'm just gonna roll with this. I'm just gonna say, hey, look, this is a little adventure we're going through. This is gonna be a great story. I'm gonna write some stuff down. Turn it into something else, and you just decide, well, I'm just gonna, as I like to say, I'm just gonna be happy anyway. It's all miserable. I'm not going to stop it from being miserable, but I'm not going to let the miserable make me miserable. I'm just going to be happy. So that's But you gotta just decide, because like everything that's going on, it's all inside your head. It's all just happening in your head. So you just change what's going on in your head, and then your head starts going, "Oh, well, this ain't so bad. I figure, maybe I'll start a company making socks." Because people go through socks a lot. I go through a lot of socks, and because you lose like one, and you can't find the other socks, so you gotta start a company making socks or uh, custom jewelry. Custom jewelry is pretty cool stuff, or you can make stuff out of wood, and go out and grab a knife and start whittling stuff. There's lots of stuff you can do. Just like I said before, just you're always sitting around feeling miserable. Might as well do something that makes you happy. And draw a picture, do something. And don't worry if you suck at it, because you're gonna suck at it. Just enjoy the suck. Have the fun with the sucking, and just have just like I said, and I'll say it again. Just be happy anyway. Love y'all, and have a good day, you guys. It's pretty cool. You guys are all awesome, wonderful, upstanding human beings. Okay. I think the battery's dead. Okay. Sorry about that.
Hello and good morning to you. That, of course, is my Embrace the Suck video. I had to rewatch it because I forgot what I said in it. People have been commenting about that video, and I shared it, and I forgot. I forgot what I said, so I had to rewatch the video. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. So anyway, so hello. Good morning. We're having a glorious day. Kind of woke up, was going through my memories on the Facebook, and found a picture of my parents. I don't know if I shared that with you guys. And my father passed away in '96. And I think about him often, and it was nice that the picture popped up, and I was able to share it with people, and it was nice. It was nice. Anyway, just having an interesting day. Just me this morning. Tell you a little bit about what's going on. I did a show last night. That was a lot of fun out on the Cape. I have a friend, AJ Haypenny. He does. He's got a bunch of shows going on out there, and he was doing one with Jimmy Cash. If you don't know Jimmy Cash, this dude is very funny. Met him years ago. Thought he was a funny dude, and he's blowing up. He's a janitor. In Massachusetts, he's an actual janitor. Works at an elementary school. And he does stand-up comedy, and he's very funny. And he's got a YouTube. He's on TikTok. He does videos about being a janitor, and they're very funny. Anyway, I hadn't seen him in a long time, and he was headlining the show, so I drove out there 2.5 hours, and they let me do a spot, let me do a few minutes of the comedy, and it was fun. It was a great time. Also, saw Duchess. SS, a beautiful young lady who's been doing comedy for a bit, and she just gets funnier every time I see her. She's just so fun, and everybody on the show, AJ, Chris, Pine. I should get the names of everybody who was there. But it was a fun show. But anyway, I want to talk about that video right there that I shared earlier. Because here's my thing. I get a lot of people who my biggest criticism that people have of me is that I'm trying to be that my positive that being positive doesn't change anything. That it's fool's gold. Basically, the idea is that if you are always trying to be happy, you're never really ever going to be happy, and so your attempts to be happy will fall and be a complete disaster. And because of that, trying to be happy just makes you even more miserable. Which I have to say, that's stupid. That is ridiculous. I think you misunderstood what happiness is what I'm saying. Also, saying having a positive attitude doesn't change anything. Well, it may not. I think it does, but here's the deal. Being miserable and cantankerous and upset and mad ain't going to change anything either. It ain't going to make one hill bit of difference. You being all wrapped up in misery. You ain't going to change anything either at any point in time, ever. Just having a miserable disposition and think that somehow you're more intelligent, that this is you're smarter or whatever. I don't know what people. I don't know why people think being negative and nasty and sarcastic about everything is going to change anything. It's not. It's never going to change anything. Now, being happy and having a cheerful disposition and just being generally pleasant may not change anything either. But at least you're pleasant and you're having a good time. So that's the whole thing. Go find some stuff to do with yourself. Get out there, start a line of socks. Just start having fun. Find something you're passionate about and just start doing it. If you don't know how to do, you want to start making socks, as I was saying. I don't know. I don't make socks. There's somebody out there that makes socks. Call them and say, hey, how do I make socks? Or can I buy socks? I'll put stuff on your socks and I'll sell your socks. You can do that kind of stuff. You just think of something you want to go do, and then just start calling people that do it and say, hey, I want to do what you do. I'd like to learn from you. What can I do? And most people will go, I'd be happy to help you. Some of them may not, but somebody will go, sure, I'd love to help you. Or you find somebody's already doing something you want to do and say, I want to help you do what you're doing. I want to be a part of what you got going on. And you just, like I said, open up your life and just say, I'm going to pretend that everything's going to be perfect anyway. I'm just going to open up to the possibilities. I'm just going to invite myself and the universe and say, hey, I'm going to do some cool stuff, and let's do it. You want to start a band? You see, you play instruments. You want to start a band? Put it out there and say, hey, I want a band. Who's got some instruments? Let's play a band. You might even get people that don't even know how to play. You hear stories all the time about bands that they needed somebody to learn how to play the bass because nobody knew how to play the bass. And so they just go, I'll figure it out. And they start playing the bass. Next thing you know, they're professional musicians. They only know like three notes. Just do it. Get out there and live your life. Yeah, I do. That's interesting. People have been wanting me to do life coaching, and I resist the idea because I don't know. Here's my problem with life coaches: is you hire somebody to basically just tell you you're okay. Well, I can do that for you for free, for the most part, right? Come say hi. Come say hi to my hello everybody. This is her. Known as the woman. the wife. Anyway, so yeah, the life coach thing. It's like you're. I don't know how to explain it. I love to do motivational speaking. I would love to do that, but I don't know that I want to do life coaching. Because you could figure yourself out. I don't know if you really need somebody to tell you what's wrong. You know what's wrong with you. You may be in denial, but you know what your problems are. But I love to have a chat with you. So yeah, can you do house calls for my son? Um, well, that gets expensive to fly all over the country to meet people. But if you really want me to, sure, you can do that. Anyway, some new things coming up. New things. I do love that. That was my wife, Tressa, by the way. I love her dearly. She's everything to me. I'm going to be a part of, let me see if I can find it. I'm going to be in California on September 28th. This is going to be a fun one. This is I'm getting hired to do weird events. So this is going to be fun. So it's a cannabis company in California, and they are flying me in. They're doing they're having a festival of some sort, and they're going to be showing stoner movies and a surfing movie, and I'm going to be hosting this thing. I'll be doing a few minutes of comedy and making appearances at cannabis shops. Now I don't smoke, but I don't participate in that. But I've used CBD oil. I will attest to that. But so we got that coming up. So I'll be in the Santa Monica area in California. Let me look it up. Let me get the details here for sure. Here, hold on. Wave Rider Nursery. Wave Rider Nursery. So it's a combination of smoking pot and riding waves. So surfing and stoners, stone surfers. Wave Rider Nursery going to be introduces a new lineup of cannabis and screening, the best screens of both the stoner and surfer movie genres. We will have a visual scavenger hunt game going during the screenings with prizes for the people who get the most questions right. Should be fun. So if you're into stoner movies and surfing and you're in California, Santa Cruz, September 28th is a secret zone in Santa Cruz. The event's going to be called Smoke Screen, presented by Wave Rider Nursery. So if you're in California, be looking for that. I'm coming there. So they're going to be showing movies. They're going to be playing games. I'm going to be there, and it's going to be an interesting event. September 28th in Santa Cruz, California. So that's happening. Then, of course, we've got the music festival, Niceville, Cosmic Vibrations Music Festival. That's coming up here very shortly in October 29th. That's going to be fun. I'm doing exceptionally well. Thank you for your concern. This Thursday, I'm in. Oh, what is that? South Egremont, the barn in South Egremont, and that is going to be a fun show. I encourage you to come and join me. Anyway, so I got that business done. But yeah, as far as okay, so here's the thing. People have asked me to do life coaching, and I do offer a thing if you want to have a conversation and a guaranteed phone conversation with me. You can hire me to do that. We can sit and talk. Do that through my website right there. If you want a personalized video, we can do that. A personal video chat, we can do that. Um, and if you want to just sit and talk about your life, I'd be happy to do so. I'll share with you my knowledge or my wisdom of the world. May be good, maybe I don't know, but yeah, you can hire me to do. I do stand up. I get people. I hire me just to come and hang out, which is great. It was a lot of fun. Weddings. I do weddings. If you want to get married, I can marry you. I'm marrying a couple on October 22nd in Massachusetts. Um, This is. I wish I still lived in Santa Cruz on your off time. Check out the big trees in Henry Cowell if you're into that. That'd be fun. That would be fun. I've spent a lot of time in California. I have to put my best friend. Always brighten up my day, no matter. I'm so sorry, Sam. That's always tough. Always tough. Wish you the best. Well, until you have a freaking awesome day, my friend. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Uh, okay. Do you marry them in character? I can do that. It's by request. If you want me to do it as Leonard, I will more than happy do it as Leonard. So, um, now the first one I did, they were very kind because I was so nervous performing the wedding. I've never been more nervous in my life, to be honest with you, than performing my first wedding. Uh, it was glorious. It felt really good to feel nervous. So I really like your sense of humor. I'd love to hire you for a party. Where are you located? I am in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. Um, but I do travel quite a bit. And like I said, I'm looking for something. If you know, in Santa Monica, so I'm there on the 28th and the 29th. But as of yet, I don't have anything planned for the 29th. I think we're going to do a couple private appearances somewhere. But I'm hoping I can put together and do a show on the 29th somewhere. So I'm trying to put that together. I'm going to work it out with them. But so that's a possibility that would be open to the public where you just come and see me do stand up on the 29th somewhere in Santa Cruz. So we're working on that. Hello, Watertown. Hello, Chicago. What's this? You may now kiss the bride, have a super freaking awesome day and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Those could be couples shirts, couples package. Yeah, yeah. I love your hair, beard. Makes me feel like home for some reason. That's. I do. You see the picture of my dad? He always had a beard. I remember a couple of times he shaved it off, and it was weird. And so I'd always felt like at some point in time I was probably going to have a beard, and I love it. He kept his always real well groomed, and he does look like Kenny Rogers. My dad was often asked for his autograph when we were kids. So one time, I share this wonderful story with you. So I'm sitting in my house. I'm about I think I was about 12, 13 years old. My parents had gone shopping that morning. They had left the house. And at the same time this was going on, Kenny Rogers was in Salt Lake for a concert. And anyway, my parents go shopping, and I'm sitting there, I'm listening to the radio. And on the radio, they come out and they say, "Hey, Kenny Rogers has been spotted at the Fashion Place Mall in uh, anyway, in Utah. It's in Salt Lake." And so people start commenting, and people were calling in. Of course, they had to go to a payphone to call or that kind of thing. But people were calling in and saying, "Yeah, he's here. I just saw him at the food court," and people are going up and he's really cool. He's talking to people, and I'm listening to this, going, "Man, that's pretty amazing." And I remembered, hey, that's where my parents were going shopping, and so I'm thinking, man, I hope my dad gets to see Kenny Rogers. That'd be pretty cool. Well, anyway, they get home a couple hours later and they are laughing. My parents are laughing so hard because as they were walking through the mall, he was who they thought was Kenny Rogers, and people were coming up and getting pictures. And getting a picture back then was an occasion because you had to carry a camera with you. Yeah, it wasn't your phone. You had to actually bring a camera. So people were going buying cameras because you could get those Instamatic cameras. They had like 24 pictures, and you take the picture. You had no idea if it turned out or what it looked like until you got it. You drop it off at the photomat, and you wouldn't see the pictures for a week or two, and then you didn't even know if the photos through. Anyway, so it was a commitment to get a picture back then. But people were asking for his pictures and his autographs, and he would always sign the autograph. He would write his name, Gary Norman, and then underneath it, parentheses, Kenny. It was really quite funny. But so there are a bunch of people in Utah who have pictures of my dad that they think it's Kenny Rogers, and he never says he's Kenny Rogers. He just says, "No, my name's Gary." And people were like, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, we believe you." But we got our water turned on for free without any. When we moved to Yerington, Nevada, my dad goes in to get the water turned on to the house, right? So he goes into the water company, and the lady at the desk was convinced he was Kenny Rogers, and she goes, "So what name do you want to put this under?" And he goes, "Oh, Gary Norman." And she goes, "Oh, that's a great name." And so she put it in, and she waived the deposit fees. And she said it would normally take a couple days before they could get out there, but she had somebody rush over. Our water was turned on before we even got back to the house. And it was because the lady at the water company thought that my dad was Kenny Rogers. So that was fun. That was fun growing up with that. So, well, I would love to hear about a set in your journey and your path. What would love to hear about what set you on your inner journey and path. That's interesting. Probably started pretty early when I was a youngster. Because we weren't not a wealthy family. We always had a roof over our head. We always had food, so I can't complain about that. Um, better than a lot of people. I had my parents, both parents, throughout my whole childhood. They had a great relationship. They were wonderful, wonderful parents. My dad was a good man, a good heart, and just kind, caring, good dude. Built race cars. We were involved in racing my whole life, and just a good dude. I have great parents, absolutely, just great parents, and but we did have some difficult times. I came into the world. In fact, my name Douglas, middle name Douglas, I'm named after my half brother. My dad had been married before and had two kids, and then they got divorced, and then he met my mother, and then they started a family together. The two boys, two older stepbrothers, they went with the mother to move to California. Well, one moved to California. The other one, Douglas, was he was killed at a at recess and they were living in Vernal, Utah at the time. And at recess, they were playing tetherball, and they, he got hit with the tetherball and he lost his balance and he fell down and hit his head on a rock. Went unconscious. He was still alive, but he lost consciousness. So they bring an ambulance, they pick him up, and as they're transporting him to the hospital, they have him laying on his back, and they're not paying attention to him. They're just, it's a kid knocked out. What do they care? But anyway, so he's laying there on the gurney, and they're driving him to the hospital, and he threw up while unconscious and ended up choking to death. And so he passed away. Obviously, he was only about 8 years old, and I was born into the world after I was the next child born after his death, and so they named me Douglas, middle name Douglas, in honor of him. So I kind of came into the world with kind of that sadness, I guess, hanging over. I was born in the summer of '69. So, you had the Woodstock, you had the alleged moon landing, all that stuff going on. So, we had, Vietnam was going. I remember some of my earliest memories. I remember sitting and watching TV at night, watching the news, and they would have a daily report of everybody who died that day in Vietnam. I mean, it was a weird time. It was just every day. It was just like, oh, it was like, here's the weather report. Here's here's what's going on with traffic. Oh, here's everybody that just died over in Vietnam. I mean, it was terrible. But also at the same time, as much through my childhood, Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers also came into were a big part of my growing up. So I was watching Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers, and then of course we had Vietnam going on. So you have all this turmoil going on, but then you also have all these, ideas, peace and harmony and life. So it was a weird time. And so as a kid, I'm seeing all this horror and destruction in the world, but at the same time, I'm also, hanging out with Mr. Rogers every day. And so as I'm growing up, I think you could just see that. I could feel that weirdness of life. And it got me thinking about religion, thinking about God, thinking about philosophy. At a very young age, I started asking a lot of questions about church. I love going to church. I still do. I love church. I love the idea of, because, to me, church was a place where you could go and you learned about how to live your life. You learned about how to be a better person. I mean, that to me is what church was. It was more of like it's like a social club where you go and feed like-minded people, and you talk about ways to live a better life. And that's how church was to me. A lot of great lessons. And so just my childhood, just starting off, I had this desire to understand what this world was about. And, and I would hear both sides very early on. I mean, it wasn't like I was sheltered, because my parents, especially my mother, always encouraged me to read a lot. My grandmother, Grandma McPhee, she loved to talk about philosophy and history and everything. She loved to talk. And she was always encouraging me when I would go over. Grandpa was, drunk off over on the couch table, and he would spout off his messages and nonsense. But Grandma would also, she would sit down, and she started teaching me very early on to look up things. She had encyclopedias, and she had books. This was my first real foray into knowledge was this little bookshelf. When you first walked into my grandparents' house, there was a bookshelf. You were greeted with this little bookshelf, and I read almost everything on there. And it was a lot of religion, a lot of philosophy books. And this was when I was a little kid, right? Uh, 6, 7 years old. I wouldn't understand any of it, but I would read and then get the dictionary out and try to figure out what the words meant. And I would ask grandma, and she was always very kind and wanted to encourage me to read and stuff. And so I started just very young. Just I also loved like quote books, you know, with just interesting thoughts and sayings, and I would read those all the time. Those are my favorite things to read when I was a kid. Was these quote books? She had lots of them, you know, that had these little nuggets of knowledge, and I'd read that and talk about it with um, with my grandparents, with my parents, with my mom. My mom in particular, like I said, she always encouraged me to read. She always encouraged me to be just have fun, and she always encouraged me to really pursue what I was passionate about, and just really I had a very supportive family growing up, and just always had that desire to know stuff um, and entertain. I was always a bit of a ham, and so just being able to put together both of them is it's been a lot of fun. Been an absolute lot of fun. What is my day job? This is my job right here. This is what I do. I'm a stand-up comedian and an actor and philosopher. This is it. This is what I do. I get up in the morning and think of stuff to tell people. Think of this is it. This is what I do. Remember those quote books? Those types of books. Yeah, it was like Bartle's book of quotations. You know, it's just kind of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Favorite philosophy and subjects. That's a good one. I said theology, um, nature of reality. You know, because you have here's how I like to break this down. Is um, you have the grand purpose of all of existence, right? And if you believe that there's a God, then that our existence obviously was created by God and was given to us to experience this thing we call reality, and then somehow we go beyond that and do something else afterwards. What for sure we don't know, but so if God's created this world for us, and some will say, well, we are just here to just praise God and that's it. I don't know where God would just. It seems kind of vain that God would just create a world just so that we could all stand around and praise God for the rest of forever. Just I don't know. I've never really bought into that concept. I like I believe in God, but I just don't think that his sole purpose was to create us just so that we could praise him forever. Just seems like an odd thing for a God person to do. And but that's how we've constructed it, right? Well, anyway, so now whether you have the God person or you have just that we're just a happy accident that happened. Here we are. Regardless of that, which side you prescribe to, what it comes down to is that we are here. We do have this life. We do have this experience. We do have this reality. And whether it came from a God or it's just a happy accident, either way, it's pretty amazing that we're here. This is pretty freaking amazing that we've got this opportunity. And what you do with it, that is up to you. So in a way, it's people ask me, what is my personal belief of life and reality? I guess it's the best way to is a Christian absurdism. I got if you're familiar with Spinoza, very much that is that we've been given a gift. Wherever this gift came from, we should be grateful that we have it. Whether it's from a God or from just happy accidents, we have a gift. We have this gift is this life, and we can do whatever we want with it. We can become good, we can become bad, we can whatever it is that we desire, we can obtain it in this life. You could become what you want to become, whether you want to become great and a good person that does good things, or a horrible, rotten, miserable person who is just out for themselves. You can get it all. You can have that. That's my personal philosophy, and my idea is that we can all become good and do great things, regardless of whether or not we have a belief in God. I believe that having a belief in God helps. I certainly do, but I don't. When you start looking down on other people because they don't believe the way you believe, or because they don't believe in God, or if they're atheists, that's stupid. That's a dumb way to live your life. Being critical of other people because they don't think the way you think, that is stupid. That is just pure stupidity, because you have no idea what's going on. You don't know. Socrates was one of the greatest messages. His whole philosophy was embodied in, I don't know, and neither do you. And that's the trick to it all, is stop judging other people. Now, look, if people are horrible, rotten, miserable people, and there certainly are many of those, right there.
Just thinking about our friend in Worcester, Ohio. The gentleman who wrote you the other day about cleaning up his neighborhood.
Oh yeah, that's a great. I'm going to share that story. Yeah, I get messages from people all the time telling me great things that they're doing with their lives. And this gentleman from Worcester, Ohio, you look it up. Their neighborhood was, a lot of drugs and things, and they decided to change the neighborhood. But instead of, having a gun battle with the gangsters, they decided to just start doing positive things. So what they did was they took a vacant lot. There was 2 vacant lots. They took these vacant lots. They turned one into a community area where you could have picnics and parties and all that kind of stuff. And then another part, they built they constructed a garden, a community garden. And if you agreed to take care of your little plot, a little section, you could come in and raise your own vegetables. Well, as they started doing that, they would host events. They were hosting block parties and things. These things. What was happening was all the neighbors were coming out and meeting each other, getting to know each other, becoming friends. And what happened was the drug dealers and the gangs started just leaving because they couldn't. They just didn't feel comfortable being there. And so they were able to push away the negative elements in their community by being positive and doing positive things, and just getting to know their neighbors, not being afraid of their neighbors, knowing who they could know and who they could trust. And that just has changed their community and turned it around. And they did it. They didn't do it by just liking memes on Facebook. They actually got out and did something about it. You got it?
Yeah. You want me to read it?
Yeah. Here's my guest host. Well,
Okay.
here you sit there. I'll go grab the chair and you sit there.
Well, I need to be leaving. Okay, so here's the story from David, and he says, "I'd like to share with you something that I helped accomplish in my neighborhood. Some people would have considered my neighborhood a slum area a few years ago. It still retains its working class roots and has certainly not been gentrified. 20 years ago, this neighborhood was overrun with drugs, crime, and despair. We tried to work with the police, but even their efforts, there was no hope. Then we took over 2 vacant lots, making one into a neighborhood park where we did all kinds of events, cookouts, concerts, games, Halloween parties, and so forth. The other vacant lot we made into a community garden where anyone who was interested could have a raised bed and grow their own food. Without confrontation or any kind of aggression, the drug dealers just started to move away. No one was more shocked than I. I still can't believe that it worked. It took time and a lot of hard work, but today our neighborhood has lots of families living in it. It's a safe place. 20 years ago, there were very few children in this neighborhood, and today we have more sidewalk chalk than we have sidewalk. It's glorious. Where many thought the only answer was to go Rambo on the drug dealers, we instead went a different direction. If you want to check out our Facebook page, it's the Buckeye Street neighborhood in Worcester. So if you want to check it out, you can see their story firsthand. We have a separate Facebook page just for our garden, which is called the Buckeye Street Gardens. Small things done with kindness can change the world. I think Gandhi or Mother Teresa or somebody more beautiful than I said that, but I have a similar saying that's not so grand. I may not be able to change the world, but I can change my part of it by the way I take part in it. Thank you for your inspiration. I turn to you from time to time when I'm frustrated or just feeling old and tired. Thank you." And that was, again, from David in Worcester, Ohio. And it was a great story, so I thought I'd share. So, there you go.
Awesome.
I gotta go.
She's gotta go conquer the world.
I gotta go.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you.
Mhm.
She's beautiful and I love her. Love her dearly. But this is funny. Steve 42, if you would call that what I call God, I would say I need God too. Yeah. It was a great story. And, it's funny because I get people sharing stories like that with me all the time, which is, I love it. I should probably compile them and share more of them with you. I think I will start doing that because they're amazing. Because there's great ways for you to go out and just do good things. Do good things with yourself. Do good things with your life, my friends. Okay, let me put down here. Anyway. Yeah, get out there and do cool stuff. You don't need to change the world, just change yours. So I tell people who become disillusioned with their lives and disappointed, and I'm saying you're not disappointed with life. You're disappointed with the life you're living now. It's not life that you're upset with. It's your life, and you can change your life. So when I say all your problems, there's a common denominator, and it's you. But likewise, all your solutions have a common denominator as well, and that is also you. That's the empowerment of that. I get people will misunderstand the things that I share and understand, and they will try to turn them into something very negative, and it makes me laugh because I get it. I get it. He's a pretty good actor, so he's a lot of strange people. He's probably got his characters from people he's not. Um, I, yeah, a lot of my characters come from people that I've met. Absolutely, that's how you do it. You're- that's that's how. Here's you're as an actor, you're always looking, and a comedian, you're always looking for fun things, and this is where I think philosophy and comedy are so closely related because philosophers, especially Socrates. I think Socrates was a comedian. Um, in that he pointed out the truth and he made people laugh and he was very entertaining in the way he would conduct himself. And most philosophers, if you read them and study them as if it's comedy, it's more enjoyable that way. It really is, because you're it's the same mentality of writing comedy as it is writing philosophy, and that is you're trying to look at what's really going on and finding the truth of the situation and exposing it. And that in heart, that is what philosophy is you're just breaking it down, you're deconstructing it. What deconstructing means is that you're taking, you're breaking it down in its parts, and you're finding the motives behind whatever action is taking place, behind whatever is going on, and you expose it for what it really is. And as a comedian, that is the trick. That's the trick. So I encourage you, if you're going to become a comedian, study philosophy. Um, this is Charles Brown is sharing. You just have to keep in mind that when you let people steal your shine, it makes you very equal. Being a nice person to people that are not is what makes you better than them. And never let them steal your shine. Kill people with kindness. You know how to drive away from negative energy and know where to put positive energy into negative people. They're actually looking for it in a negative way. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think people are. Oh, so I guess we got a conversation going on here. What light? I'm presently in a shaded area, so speculation is not allowed. Hypothetical, thinking frowned upon. Space exploration, actual proof there is a god. Is a no in the Brown house. Okay, what about Snoopy? Is he really happy? Was it? Um, Interesting thought. Here's the deal. If you shut down all conversation about anything, you're part of the problem. I mean, if you're not allowing other people to, here's my one of my issues with where atheists get this wrong is that they think that first of all, they think that they know that there is no God, which is as ridiculous a position as taking as a person who says that they know without any doubt that God does exist. You're both. I mean, you're both. You're the same person. You're arrogant, which is dumb. It's a dumb position to take. You know for sure. It's silly. And a belief in God is based on faith. Is that you based on your experience, based on what you've believe is faith, and faith is not having a complete knowledge of something, but having faith that there is whatever it is that you have your faith in. So it's kind of it's a silly position to take when you say absolutely there's no God, and then to say that all religion is horrible and bad, but at the same time you're trying to hold a position that this is silly. You're trying to hold a position that there is no truth, Are you with me on this? You believe that there is no truth because all truth is subjective, but then you turn around and then say how everybody else is wrong. Well, you can't be right. If you hold that all truth is subjective, then you've lost your position to argue anything. You're done. It's over. You've just admitted defeat. You say I have no idea, and it's over. You're done. You've killed your any argument you have after that is you're just proving yourself wrong. I mean, if you believe that all truth is subjective and that there is no real truth and whatever, you've failed. Your argument. You're done. You're intellectually done. It's over. Drives me nuts. But no. So as I said before, whether you believe in God or not, the fact that we have this life, that we're here, and that we have an opportunity to do something, you should do something. You should do good things. I hope that you choose to be a better person. You choose to be a good person and do good things. Do great things. Like my friend in Worcester, they just decided to do something positive and they started doing it. And that positivity drives away the negative. And man, yeah. Yeah, I don't. I hope no one's here to argue. And this is what I'm trying to create, if you will. This is my goal. If you want to know what am I doing, what is my purpose in life, is to get people to realize how much strength you have and how much you can change your life. And by changing your life and doing positive things with your life, that is the best thing you can do to help the whole world. By just doing your thing, by making your little piece of the world a better place, making it so that every person who comes in contact with you has a positive, beneficial experience. When you change your life and you decide, I want every person that I meet to have a positive, to be benefited from my existence. And that part of that is, like, you can disagree with people. I mean, if you really think that you have a better way of seeing the world, don't go out and destroy other people. Don't go out and rip down their beliefs. Because if your whole entire belief system is based on tearing down someone else's belief system, you have a horrible belief system. Instead, you go out and you share the positivity of your situation. You go out and share the benefits of living life the way you live. You know, if you have found a way to live your life and it's a positive and beneficial thing to you, and you want to take that joy that you have from that and share that with other people, that is a glorious thing. It might be different than what they're doing. It might be in complete contradiction to what they're doing. But just going out and showing that you have a higher being, a higher desire, a greater desire, and that you're honest and you're sincere, that you can make a lot of changes in people. Instead of fighting and arguing with people, open yourself up and be supportive and kind. Always try to understand somebody else's point of view before you start destroying them or trying to attack them. That's how I like to approach. I just love to listen to other people. People who disagree with me. I am good friends with a lot of people who completely disagree with almost everything I believe. And they accept me for who I am, and I accept them for who they are. And life would be boring if we were all the same. If you want to live your entire life inside a bubble where everybody agrees with you, that is a horrible position to be in. You are not going to progress or grow. That's not tolerance. That is terrible way to live your life. Get outside yourself. Get outside your bubble. Go places that you wouldn't normally go. Look, I don't participate in the marijuanas. But I refuse to hate people or dislike people because they do something I don't do. I don't drink alcohol, but I hang out in bars all the time because I'm a comedian and I hang out with people who drink. It's stupid of me to look down on somebody because they're different than me or because they have a different attitude or a different perspective on life. I mean, this idea that you're better than anybody else, that's where it comes. That's where you start destroying yourself. You know, pride is, as I've said, pride is personal damnation. It's self-imposed damnation. And by damnation, I mean, when you stop progressing, that's what to be damned means, is that you are stopped from your progression. You know, when somebody, hear what I'm saying? And so when we say God is to damn someone or you're being damned, it means you're being stopped from progressing. You're being, that's what it's about. And when you have pride, you're just damning yourself is what you're doing. But if you have something you want to support, you want to share, and it's a positive thing, then do that. Then share it. And if it's a good thing, it will attract good things. You'll attract good things, and you'll help other people attract good things. But when you're negative and just tearing things down, now there are things that are negative in this world that should be brought down. That I totally agree with. I totally agree with that. And you should fight against those things. But you got to decide what it is that, I mean, let me put it this way. If you need to associate, see, I'm not sure how I'm saying this. If you need to take and defeat somebody in every aspect of their lives because they disagree with you, you have to destroy them and bring them down and associate them with terrible, horrible things and lie about them. The problem is you, right? You're doing something terrible. If you have to take, because what's happening is we're creating a disservice to truth, and it's this attitude that's created predominantly in the media, I think, is that if you don't completely agree with me, then you're either stupid or evil. And this is what this type of thing, this all or nothing mentality about everything, is what's destroying our society. In reality, not all of us are one side or the other. In fact, the idea that there's only a binary choice for us to make is the biggest stupid illusion, ridiculous illusions ever. That you're either with us or against us. Mentality is stupid, and it's a horrible, horrible thing that's happened. And man, why we choose to let our lives live that way is stupid. And you should just, you know what? Stop participating in it. Stop believing this nonsense. Stop believing that there is only a one way or a right way. There's lots of ways to accomplish great things. And really what we're arguing about isn't what we think is right or wrong. It's just how we accomplish what's right or wrong. And then we it's gotten confused, saying that, oh, if you completely agree with me, then it's a good thing. But if you disagree with me at all, then it's because you don't want to solve the problem because you're evil and stupid. And man, it's dumb. Man, it's a dumb way to live your life. Dumb way. There's crap on every side. Absolutely. Lots and lots of crap. Charlie, Hey, you're a mechanic. Come help me with my cars. Yes. Yes. Here's the other thing is people, this is one of the dumbest arguments ever, is that if you ignore something, that somehow you're contributing to it. You know what I mean? Now, I agree to a certain degree. If there's an injustice taking place and we all just ignore it, then that's wrong. We need to. So there's this balance that needs to be created, and this is what's happened: is this balance is being used against us. Here's what I mean. So say something as horrible is going on, and we all agree this is horrible. This needs to stop. Okay, right. So let's say racism is bad. We all agree that racism is horrible and terrible. That it's stupid. I mean, to hate somebody just because of the color of their skin, that is the dumbest thing ever. Or to be bigoted towards anybody just because of their being different than you, because of their religion or non-religion or whatever. When you just hate somebody on these arbitrary decisions, it's stupid. So we all agree racism's dumb, right? But then what happens is that when we all agree that it's dumb, then others start saying, well, now it becomes that if you are a racist, we're justified in disliking you and hating you, right? So there's that assumption is made. If you're a racist, you're a horrible person. And you should be shunned and destroyed from society. Okay, so now we've created that power, right? Now what's taken place is instead of actually exposing true racism, what happens is somebody comes along and says, hey, I'm just going to accuse, if I can prove that my opponent is a racist, I don't have to defeat their arguments at all because I'll just defeat them. And then you go through and then we start finding things that could be construed as being racist and say, oh, that person said this way back in 27 years ago. Obviously they're a racist. We hate this person. Oh, racist. And so now we've taken the concept of racism and instead of truly working against it, now we're promulgating it and trying to show, oh, there's more and more. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And man, this is part of what's destroyed the whole concept of fighting against racism by making it even more prevalent, by using it as a weapon instead of actually fighting against racism. They want to keep it going so they can use it as a weapon to defeat their enemies. And this is used on both sides. This is used a lot. And it's not just that now it's, racism, bigotry, everything and anything that can become construed as negative, they'll want to associate that with their enemy. That way we can avoid discourse by just, that person's a horrible person, so we shouldn't listen to them, which is also bad logic. It's really all just horrible logic. And this is why I think that they stopped teaching logic in schools, is because it's easy to be fooled by bad logic. Now, see this. See, here's an example. Here's an example. Religion is a mental illness. This is dumb. This is a dumb argument. Now, has religion been used incorrectly? Absolutely. Has religion been used to do horrible things? Absolutely. But it is. But when you start making statements like this, religion is a mental illness. Well, atheism then also is a mental illness because it's the same. It's from the same concept. Now, and here's the problem: is you get something good like religion that will do good things for people, but because there's power involved, then people will take that power and use it to their own advantage. and use it to harm other people. This happens in everything. It doesn't matter. Even I'll give you an example. There was an organization of atheists that started, and I'll have to get the whole story. But they were just an organization of atheists, and they thought, oh, we're going to really prove we're right, blah, blah, blah. They started the organization, and a lot of money started rolling in. People donating money to the organization, and guess what happened? Well, they started infighting about who had control of the money, and then there was murder involved. And the Atheist Association had this turmoil that happened. Now, you can easily say, well, see, that's atheists for you, and all the atheists are like that. But that's stupid. You don't, just because you got a couple of atheists fighting over money doesn't mean that all atheists are murderous, horrible people. You don't, to make that association is stupid. And then to also, it's going to apply that towards religion. It's the same thing, or anything political. Anything that creates a power structure is going to have problems with human beings. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have a power structure, whether it's a religion, a social organization, a homeowners association, anytime somebody gets power and authority, they're going to use it to their advantage, and they're going to hurt other people. It always happens. It's human nature. It's something that will always take place. And to then go and associate that because of their teachings or whatever is dumb. It's a dumb, stupid way to live your life when you start and also discrediting somebody's belief system because it's different than yours. You are making you're making a horrible mistake, because you're saying that if you disagree with me, you're stupid or evil. And that's a dumb way to live your life, my friend. I hope that you would, when you see it that way. So this is the kind of thing that is the problem, and you're cutting yourself off by thinking this way. Instead of saying there's good and bad in every person, and I'm going to give them the opportunity to prove otherwise. But to just completely cut people off because they are different than you in any way is it's dumb. It's just a dumb way to live your life. It's just, I don't know why you want to do this. Why do you want to do that to yourself? Why do you want to cut off other people out of your life immediately? And what it is you're trying to how do I say this? You're trying to avoid the real conversation. There's something you're hiding in yourself. There's a fear, because all racism is based on fear, and that is fear of something we don't understand, or well, pretty much it's it. It's just racism is created from fear. When we hate things, it's because we have fear. Now there are things that should be hated. Don't get me wrong about that, but this is ridiculous. O'Keefe, I hope that you would reconsider your thoughts on that one. I'm sure you're a wonderful human being. Ronnie, good morning. Well, hello. Thank you for joining me this morning. Dilcia, that's a beautiful name. Dilcia Martinez. I love finding new names. I've never heard this name before. That is awesome. Dilcia. I hope I'm saying that correct. The Apple logo is an apple with a bite out of it. Not a story from mine. Yeah, that's true. Well, it comes down to in regards to the Apple logo. The Apple is the idea of knowledge. Okay, here's a great name. I can set them up and fit their foot in their mouth. Sure. Okay. Hetkey Zero. That's a great name. I don't know if it's a. I don't know. I was raised in a racist town. It wasn't until I went into the military I realized that color doesn't make you. It's your actions that make you beautiful. Ugly. Absolutely. That's one of my favorite quotes from anyone is from Martin Luther King Jr. from his "I Have a Dream" speech, and when he says, "I look forward to the day when a man is judged by the content of his character, not by the color of his skin. Well, not judged by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character." And that's one of my favorite quotes from ever since I first heard it. I was like, that is beautiful. That's how we should all be. Oh, yes, that's true. There is the Hotkey Zero. I hope I'm saying that right. That's a cool name, too. Thank you, Michael Hanley. Wish you could hang out longer. Gotta go do stuff. Have a great day, everyone. Hey, thank you. Thank you for being with us. It's a lot longer than I thought. The last couple of days, we've been hanging out with people in Kentucky. We had Amanda and Paul, and I hope that you guys have been looking and seeing what's been going on there. I hope that I know people were reaching out to Amanda yesterday, and I really appreciate all of you for doing that. And Paul's family also, they're starting to get low on funds and could use some help. I know this comes as a surprise to everyone, but apparently the FEMA and government aid not very forthcoming. But to the government's credit, none of these people are well-connected bankers. So obviously, there's that problem. So, but no, but yeah, the government money is not coming through very quickly. So they're in need of some help. So I hope that you open up your hearts and help those people in any way you can. The people in Kentucky who are really struggling right now. Can we stop the ants from stealing our pancakes? Move them higher, I guess. Why don't you just eat the pancakes? What are you sitting them around for the ants to get to them? That's probably the biggest problem. If you're kind of Central California, hey, I'm going to be there shortly. I think my accommodations are taken care of, though, but love to have you come on and stay. But thank you for the offer, Brent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Brent, best bed and breakfast. BB's B&B. I just like the name of that. BB's B&B. If that's not what it's called, you need to change the name of it. BB's B&B. That's got a good ring to it. BB's B&B. Oh, here's another one. Zonzon TV. Thank you. Yeah, I don't really like talking about politics, but I do want to encourage people to think differently about politics. Is that helpful? Can you give a shout out to my beautiful wife Tiffany? Sure. Hello, Tiffany. Okay, that cover it. We should always leave pause as our conversation. You know, I think we can still talk about politics and sociology, but I think we need to change the way that we communicate. So instead of actually having a, because we argue, people automatically take a defensive or offensive position about everything. Instead of just sitting back and say, okay, well, let me listen to you and let me hear you. We don't do a lot of listening to each other. We do a lot of talking at each other, and everything's been reduced to sound bites and memes, and actual conversations have stopped. And I hope that I could encourage people to have real conversations instead of just insulting each other. Um, you know what I mean? And look, I've fallen for it too, but um, I guess the trick is to know who to have a conversation with. I mean, if the person you're talking to is incapable of having a conversation, then there's no reason to be talking to that person. You just shut it off. I mean, there's if the person isn't smart enough to figure out when they've lost the argument, there's no reason to have an argument with them. That's how I take it. So I'm happy to talk about politics. I'm happy to talk about things that I disagree with you on, or anyone on. Um, but as I'm trying to get people to realize is there's a better way to communicate. There's a better way to have a conversation about things. There's a better way to actually learn from someone else and to share your thoughts with someone else, um, without being argumentative. There's a way to actually have a real conversation. We've lost the ability to communicate, and I'm some way that we can find a way to do that. And I hope I can encourage people to just do that. Because if you only have conversations with people who only agree with you, you're kind of stuck. You really need to go into we need to challenge each other. This is part of what society works, is when we do disagree with each other and we have conversations and we work it out and we try to find solutions to problems. Problem is we've stopped doing that, and it's terrible. And we need to go back to just being um, uh, adults who are working out issues. So, and but again, I'm not here to talk about politics, but I'll talk about talking about politics. We do that, but even then, immediately people start going, "Well, which side are you on?" Well, I don't, I don't care what side you're on. I really don't. I could care less what your political position is, because it's nonsense. And when you need to get somebody else, you need to find out what somebody else's political affiliations are before you have a conversation. That to me is part of your problem. That is your issue. So because you want to automatically label and say, "Oh, how do I approach this person?" How about just approaching people as human beings who have their own thoughts and feelings? That's how you should approach it. Not which side of the aisle are you on, or what's your, because people misconstrue my belief systems all the time, and I don't care. That's your problem. But when you have to know what they are, that my friend, is your problem. That's where you're making a horrible mistake. Rodney, hey, do you remember when you were little and you would play outside? Those events, great times. Yeah, you still play outside. You know that? You can still go outside and play. That's not a childhood thing. You don't have to give that up. You don't have to give up being a kid and playing and having a good time. You remember Close Encounters of the Third Kind? How he builds, basically constructs the Devil's Tower inside his house. You could do that now. Or you can do it in your front yard, your back, whatever. You can still play. You can still go outside and play. That's not. This is where I think the mistake we make is, oh, I remember back when I was a kid, I used to do that. You can still go do that fun stuff now. You can still do that stuff. Never forget what it's like to be a child is the moment we distance ourselves from God. Yes, yes, I agree. My wife didn't know Leonard was a character. Yes. I got to address this again. I keep getting one of the comments that keeps getting popped up on, especially YouTube, has been where it's been the most lately. People keep making comments. Don't be fooled by this guy's an imposter. It's not real. It's just fake. I still I'm delighted when I see them because it's funny to me that um, it's funny to me that because you create a character that somehow you're lying to people. No, you're it's called acting. I don't know, and I have, and if you think I'm trying to deceive people and think that is the dumbest thing. Literally, you could just make 2 clicks and you could figure it out that it's a character. I mean, I'm not trying to hide anything or lie to anybody about anything. I think I'm pretty open and honest about all of it. But yeah, they're trolls, and I get that they're trolls, and I don't care. Harris, that's very true. 41, still play outside. Yes, get out there. I gotta go play outside. I gotta go do some stuff outside. Yeah, I found my back shirt. I forgot. I thought I lost this one, and I got up this morning and started looking through my closet, and I found my Mac shirt. I love this shirt. People. I don't know if you guys saw the video of Drew Barrymore going out into the rain and saying, "Oh, get out in the rain," and people are criticizing for. I think it was funny. I thought it was. I enjoyed it. I appreciate her sentiment. What is my favorite book? Gee. I don't have. I love. I just love. If you really come down to it, the book I love the most. Doug, quiet. Doug, stop. Quiet. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Calm down. Come here, Doug. Doug, come here. Come here. Come here, sweetheart. He's getting all rambunctious. I do not have a favorite book, but the thing I've read the most is the Bible. King James. I prefer the King James Bible. It's the one I was raised with. I love the language of the King James version. Just love it. It's funny how the world only paid attention to your character. You think it was just you that people would have responded. No, because the character was no. If it was just me, I don't think people would care. I mean, I guess to some degree they would. I think the messages are positive, but most people just. And this was kind of my point of the character, is that I saw my friend who was he was a life coach, motivational kind of guy, and he would post videos all the time encouraging people with positive messages. I mean, he was really doing a good thing, but the videos really weren't getting that much of attention. He would get some, every once in a while, one of them would do pretty well. And then, but it was watching his video, I was just like, that's interesting how as soon as somebody normal looking or good looking or whatever gets on there and starts sharing some wonderful message, most of us just go, oh, okay, whatever. And you just skip it. You don't even listen to the message at all because the way the presentation, it's like, what's this guy ever going to know anything about my life? He couldn't know. He's he's got chiseled abs. He's perfect tan. He's in front of him. He's in a mansion. He's got expensive cars. Obviously, he's got a lot going on. And you come to that. Most of us don't go, oh, I want to be like that. Most of us go, oh, well, who's this blowhard? What does he possibly know about my life? You scroll on. And so when I saw that and I got thinking about it, it just hit me. I was like, that's it. Because I had this character based on my grandfather for so long, and I've used him many times in stand-up and stuff. And he's funny, he's an interesting character. And then when it just dawned on me, that's it. He would be the perfect person to deliver these positive messages. And the more I thought about it, the more excited I got about the idea, because he's opposite of everything else. He's not what you expect. And that to me was what I loved about it, was like, okay, so you're going to take these very deep philosophical points and make them from this perspective of what somebody would possibly consider, kind of a simpleton or a burned out hippie, whatever. And so as I started working on my first set of videos on this character as the world's worst motivational speaker, as I started working on it, I realized that there was a power in this guy, in this character, because he's disarming. Because it's not somebody, when you see one of those other motivational videos, you get the feeling that this guy's going to preach to you. He's going to, it kind of has a condescending air, like, oh, I've got it all figured out. I know all the answers, and I'm here to bestow upon you, poor peasants, with my wonderful, vast knowledge and understanding of the world. I'm here to bless you. I wanted to get away from that. I didn't want to come across that way. And so when I started developing the whole series of this character, Leonard, I thought, and that's when I thought, okay, we'll give him a name that is not the perfect name. It's the most, I want to come up with a terrible name. And in fact, Leonard came from, I had to go to the dump that day, or the next day, as I was thinking about this. And the road in Stafford Springs that you take to go to the dump is called Leonard Road. And I thought, that's perfect. Leonard. That's it. I'm going to go with Leonard. And then McCrunsky was just a variation on my grandfather's last name, which is McPhee. So I just sort of gave it kind of a funny twist to it. And then started making the videos. And the idea is that it's disarming. So you have no idea who is this weirdo? What's wrong with him? So you're not expecting a motivational message. You're not expecting anything. You're sort of staring at this in mild amusement as what is wrong with this guy. And he's got a very peculiar way of presenting himself, very peculiar way of speaking. And then he delivers a message that's both funny and insightful. So it was very much, very, very much by design. A lot of it just sort of came as trial and error. But yeah, it was the character that took off. It was the character that people identified with and still do. Yeah, I'm just a normal guy. There's nothing special about me. But there's something rather unique about the character Leonard, and people it connects with people because it really is. It's different. And people, as soon as I started making the videos, I started getting people saying, "Oh, you always got to be this character." I had people telling me, forever when I would do the character on stage, other comics would tell me, "Oh, you got to stop doing that. You should do that." And I'm going, look, get on stage. People are like, oh, you got to be your real self. No, you don't. You're never your real self. That's silly. That it's entertainment. You get up there and you entertain people. They don't need to hear your real self. They don't want to get up there and have you lecture to them about your real. Nobody cares about your real self, because your real self is you. It's your personal thing. Just keep your real self to yourself. That's what I say. And honor your real self, but you don't need to go out and share your real self with it. That you're gonna cause yourself a lot of hate and discontent. If you, and then there's a fine line here. I just want to say, but entertainment, you create characters, you create something that shares a message, that represents something, because everything represents something to somebody. We take things and we create everything that we do, every person we meet, we fit them into our head, into our lives, how it makes us for us. Every individual does it, and it's like look back here. You've got you got Star Wars. Star Wars represents something to somebody else. Elvis, you got Elvis, you got old young Elvis, new old Elvis. It all represents something to you, and that's what you're going to do with it. And so you're going to take whatever you think of me, and that's going to become something to you, right? It's going to right. And so when you take and create a character, you have in mind what it is that this character represents or is supposed to represent, right? This is I didn't mean to go this long about this, but he represents a part of me, I guess is the best way. And that part of me is that there is a right way to see things. There's a right way to look at the world. Buddhism, the right way of thinking, right way of speech, right way of action. There's a right way to conduct yourself. And Leonard, to me, represents that part of me that I desire. I desire to be right in my speech. I desire to be right in my actions. I desire to be a good person. And that's what Leonard is he's a representation of that part of me, of that simple part of uncomplicated, pure wisdom. And I think that's what other people connect with. So thank you. That was a great question. Leonard certainly connected with me initially. I thought Leonard was an autistic savant type. That's a fair. That's probably I would say. I would say that's a fair assessment of to a degree, because he's not focused on what we think is important, and I think that's one of the brilliance of people with autism is that they see, it say that they don't take social cues, they don't, that kind of thing. But I think it's a superpower in their ability to ignore things that are unimportant, if you will. Most of the autistic people I've ever associated with are some of the most brilliant and wonderful human beings you could ever be with, because they're just pure intention, and it's just in not having emotions, they're actually the best at expressing their pure, true emotion. It's sort of a weird thing, but no, that's beautiful. Eccentric, different people have always been amazing and fascinating to me, lovable. To be in a good way, like a child is lovable, or your sister or brother can be lovable. Yeah. No, thank you. That's anything. Artists and their art are not identical. Many artists are somewhat crap individuals in a yeah, well, that's true. That is true. As I saw an interview, the clip that keeps popping around of Mike Tyson, and he says that he doesn't desire to be great. He says there's a lot of great people who do great things that are not good people. And that was amazing. That was amazing to me. Just that's a brilliant insight. Brilliant insight is that you can be great at something but still not be a good person, and that is so true. That is very, very true. Love you. I'm a therapist and energy healer. Oh, beautiful. Anytime you do something, you choose to do something that really benefits other people. That is amazing. So people who work with other people and helping people heal, or nurse, or what, I love that. Your voice is so important to these young people who need to hear wisdom delivered in the disarming way that you do. Thank you for providing them with hope and encouragement. I share you with everyone. All the best. You matter. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's very, very kind of you. Do you think we are our own on this third rock from the? No, I do not. Not at all. I do believe that there is a higher purpose and meaning to all this. And part of that is figuring out where we fit into it. Finding our higher self, finding our higher being, and our higher purpose. Um, um, First off, I'm not a statistics interval. I am 43 years older than my parents, and I'm just a big fan. Okay, so okay. Well, I love you, Michael. Love you, Michael. I think you're awesome. Thank you for joining us. Hey, I'm one of them. Thank you. But I will say one thing: we have emotions, we just don't express them. Yeah. That's. I hope I didn't. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I have Asperger's, so I'm high function. But thank you for saying that. Yeah, I just every person I've met that is autistic, Asperger's, are just. I just love them. Just love them. Um, uh, because they're just pure honesty, and it's just so refreshing. It's just, and I think that's part of what my character, Leonard, is just that pure, just pure honesty. And I regret saying naive, because I know people will use that word naive, and it's not naive. I don't think there's a naive. I think it's not a naive position. He's not a naive person. I don't think people who are who have autism or Asperger's are naive. Um, I think we're the ones who are naive when we think that they're naive because they're ignoring the nonsense. I mean, you tell me who's the ones are you naive for ignoring the nonsense, or are you naive for buying into it? That's the questions. I think we have a lot to learn from people with autism, because I think they're just brilliant. I've got a friend. Let's see if I can find him. He's a fellow comic. Anyway, I'll find it later. But I'll share with him. But he's Captain Autism is what he calls himself. And I met him a few years ago in Florida. I was doing a show down there, and he was on the show. And he lives in his van, and he just travels all over doing comedy. He opens for Jason Mew all the time, who's from Clark's, Silent J and Bob, or yeah, is that right? Anyway, so he opens for Jason Mew all the time, and he is just hung out with him for a weekend, and he's just an absolute just gem of a human being. I love the dude, and he's getting a lot of success as a comic. I encourage you to go find him, Captain Autism. He's very funny, very delightful. It's fun. You know, that's the other thing. Comics, we have a tendency to be kind of, we get a little dour. Hey, Austin. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, Ginger. I adore people with Down syndrome. Most pure, honest, innocent. Oh, they are. Absolutely. I did some volunteer work when I was in high school where we would, our job that we would do is we would um, uh, hang out with this group of people with Down syndrome who were, they would learn life skills so that they could go and live on their own. And so they would have these things that they come, they would learn how to cook. They would teach them how to ride a bus. We'd have dances, and they would learn how to socially interact, how to ask people to dance, and we would hang out. And so our job was just to basically just uh, treat them like normal people. That was the trick, was to not go and coddle them, as it were, was to not go, but not to be rude or mean to them. But that's not what I mean. But to just act and treat them as if they were just normal human beings and show them what it's like to be a normal human being, if you will. And so we would create these social scenarios, and they would interact in them. It was really fun. It was a lot of fun. So we would have dances, and we would go on. We would go just. We'd pair up and go to a store and help them buy something, and just show them how to count out money and or use a credit card or something. And it was some of the funnest, most enjoyable times just hanging out with them, because they're very funny, and they are jokesters. The funnest thing to me was when they would play, knowing that you thought they weren't as smart as they were, and they would play jokes on you doing that. It was really, they have such an amazing sense of humor. And it was, I just love them. Just love them. I'm with you on that one. This is my 7-year-old son is autistic. His words and actions amaze me every day. He is such a blessing. His level of intelligence beyond me. Yeah, they like I said, they see things that we get distracted by all the nonsense. They're able to see through it all, and they have it's so amazing, so amazing. Oh yes, have you heard of Temple? Yes, I have a wonderful story about Temple Grandin. She is amazing. She's a brilliant writer, and I encourage you all to go and read her. But I was flying to Boston. I was flying from Los Angeles to Boston one time, or no, it was Denver. We stopped in Denver, had a layover in Denver, and then on to Boston. And I caught the plane in Denver, and I go and sit in my seat, and I'm in a middle seat, right? And the flight is packed, and I'm sitting there, I'm just kind of keeping to myself, and I'm looking at this lady next to me, and I keep thinking, I know, where do I know her from? Where do I know her from? And it took me about 5 minutes, and I finally realized that I was sitting next to Temple Grandin on the airplane. I'm like, holy crap! Because your first thought is, first of all, why is this? Why am I sitting next? How is this even possible? You wrap your head around that you're sitting next to this amazing individual, and they're just like right there. And I didn't want to. I really was. I'll be honest with you. It was probably the only time I really have been starstruck. That like I was so nervous when I realized it's Temple Grandin, and she was wearing the Western shirt and everything. And she was flying to Boston. She was preparing. She had all of her notes out. She was giving a talk, and so she was going through her notes. So she had the light on and everything, and she was, and I kept thinking it's her, and I don't want to say. And then the stewardess kept stopping and asking her if she needed anything, because obviously they knew who she was. And but my confirmation that it was her was the stewardess or flight attendant. I'm sorry, flight attendant stopped and said, Miss Grandin, can I get you, is anything else to drink or anything? And Tim was like, oh, no, I'm fine, thank you. And so when I heard Miss Grandin, it was like, then it just the fireworks went off in my head. Like, you're sitting next to Temple Grandin. You are sitting next to Temple Grandin. And I'm just like, I can't, this is amazing. And I didn't want to bother her. This is my thing is that, she was hard at work, working on her speech. And I was like, I didn't want to bother her. And, so I just sat there. It just utter amazement for hours, and just watching her and trying not to be creepy, but just kind of a corner of my eye and catching what's going on. But I was just, it was a great moment, just sitting there next to Temple, like, woohoo, it's pretty freaking cool. And I didn't talk to her, and that's probably one of my biggest regrets, is that I didn't take some time to just say hello. And I think you're an amazing person. But yeah, I do know who Temple Grandin is, and she is amazing. I enjoy how you put life in your own perspective. Not a lot of people think as deeply as you do. I personally can relate to it. Living with PTSD and paranoia, I've always struck inside my own mind. Thank you. Thank you, Shane. This is the kind of messages that I every time I get them, it kind of sets me back, not in a bad way. It's humbling to me to know that my videos and my messages resonate like that. And thank you, Shane. I hope that you're finding peace and joy in your life. Because yeah, PTSD is having been in the military and being around guys who were in the first Gulf War and seeing what they were going through, and it's a very real thing. It's a very, very difficult thing, and getting to know a lot of people, veterans and others who have PTSD, it can become very debilitating. And people don't fully comprehend that, and that it's all. I mean, you basically become a prisoner inside your own head, and it can be very debilitating. So I'm grateful that I can help you in any way. Thank you. Tour dates are on my website. I'm trying to add them all as I get. I'm getting more dates added all the time. But that's where you go. Go there. I'll be posting more later. You've got to, Levi, I got to tell you, you got to listen to, he has become, Mike Tyson has really become very introspective. He's had quite a spiritual journey. I mean, he's lived one of the most amazing and unique lives you could ever possibly live. And I really encourage you to go listen to what he has to say. He's amazing. Do you ever disarm people in public who don't know who you are with Leonard? Most people who recognize me in public and come and talk to me, they know who I am. They know the story. So I haven't had that experience. No. What's funny to me is when people run into me out in public, I usually don't end up saying anything because they have everything they want to say to me, and so they'll just. Some people get nervous and they just start talking and telling me, oh, I saw this video and then this, and your sister shares her videos all the time, blah, blah, blah. And they just have all these things they want to hurry and tell me because they think that it's their moment. And so they just run. And I find I just sit there, oh, okay, thank you. That's very nice. I just listen. So yeah, it's kind of funny. I usually around people, I just end up just smiling. Can we get a picture? Oh, absolutely. Let's get a picture. I had one lady that she saw me at a truck stop, and I stopped and I got out of my car and went inside to use the bathroom. And I was also looking for a new charger for my phone because the one I had was not working. And so I was back looking for one of those. And I like getting the ones that truck stops because they're really sturdy and they last long. So anyway, so I was looking for her, and this lady comes in and she goes, "Are you Rodney?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And then she just starts going on about, "I love your videos, blah blah blah." And I don't think the only words I said to this woman the entire time, we were there for like 10 minutes. The only thing I ever said was, "Yes, that's me," and sure, I'd love to get a picture with you. The rest of the time, she just talked and was telling me everything and stuff, and I just sat there and listened, and it was delightful. It was fun. She told me her story, and it was fun. It was just weird. It was fun being a part of that experience for her. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Can you speak of what it's like to have the name Rodney? Oh, most people don't. Well, most people's association with the name Rodney is Dangerfield, so that's good, I guess. That or Rodney King. No, Rodney's a great name. I love having the name Rodney. Um, Dude, there's something in your wisdom which I don't think you even realize you have. Satire or not, you have a calmness in your personality. Legend. Thank you, Gary. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I couldn't recognize Rodney being able to work with tech and his functioning in the role. So, neither do my boys, my sons. You know, I have a baby myself and an older child. I had no right trying to help her, but growing up with my brother just conditioned me to be that way. I have to grow up and try to help myself. Yeah, that's the key. You're the answer to all your problems. Stop waiting for somebody to come and save you. Through down there. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm very familiar with Alan Watts's work. Yes, yes. Big influence. Like I said, I mentioned before, Alan Watts, Ram Dass, those guys, they really brought Eastern philosophy over and kind of westernized, made it palatable for a Western audience. A lot of just, just a lot of great wisdom of just, you know, live your life. You know, um, it's a gift. Wherever it came from, we have a gift. Whether it's just a big happy accident or a gift from God, here we are. Let's make the best of it. So yeah, I do read Alan Watts. Absolutely. Oh yeah, Rodney Mullen, the skater. Yeah. Just my dad, born in 1920, did his first music gig in 1934. He knew Rodney Dangerfield. My dad said he was a creep off stage. I've heard some unsettling things about him. Yeah, Dad also was a brand for an event, in a band for an event by Helen Keller. My dad was super cool. Yeah, that he lived a pretty freaking cool life. Yeah, that's awesome. Am I a short guy? I am basically 6 feet tall. Well, I'm 5 feet 11 3/4 inches, but when I put shoes on, I'm 6 feet tall. But I'm just like right at 6 feet, just barely under 6 feet tall. First of all, one of your video clips during COVID while teaching online, shared some of your videos with the kids. Thank you. Yeah, This is my daughter, by the way. Tiana. Tiana is a dork. This is my daughter, Tiana. She's in Colorado Springs. If you guys want to go and follow her on YouTube, she's very funny and very creative person in her own right. I love her and I adore her. And she doesn't know that I'm 5'11" 3/4. But that's okay. From her perspective, 5'10" is giant anyway because she's short. But anyway, this is my daughter right here. Tiana is a dork on YouTube. She does great video editing. She's very talented. Like I said, she's funny. Just absolutely love and adore this girl. And so, yeah, if you're on YouTube, go find her right there. Tiana's a dork. And show her some love, my friends. Your videos unarm people, icebreakers, if you'll discussion starters. Unlike mine. That's my goal. That's what I'm here to do. Break down some barriers. Let's get talking. Let's be friends. I would know he's my dad. Like I said, there Tiana's dork. Go follow her. Love her dearly. Do you know what it is? I think we all are philosophers. We all have a philosophy that we live our life by. It's weird to see you with a shaved face. Yeah, I intentionally, when I started getting noticed, started getting some attention. I had people saying, you got to take those older videos down. They shouldn't let people see those. And I'm like, I don't care. I'd actually started doing video. If you go watch my YouTube channel, you go my oldest videos. I did a series of videos where, and this was many years ago, but I did these videos where instructional videos to my kids. And those videos were all they were shot and edited by my kids when they were younger. They were all much younger. The editing in that was done by Tiana, the one here on YouTube. So I just left note. I thought, well, I don't care. I don't have anything to hide. Guess what? I this is me. Deal with it. I don't really. If you dislike me because of an old video, because I shade, because I haven't been this way my whole life. I grow up. That's all I can say. My favorite watch, the meaning of life is just to be alive. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, even if and I've had Christians who, I think this is the point of this. This is a beautiful, beautiful point that I think Alex is making. Life is just to be alive, and that it is. It's just here. Experience this life. You were given a gift. God gave you the gift to come and experience life. You don't need to sit down and feel miserable about everything and be full of grief and hatred and whatever it is that you're carrying around. Just live it, enjoy every moment of it. Just it's brilliant. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple, and yet everybody rushes around in great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. Absolutely, we keep trying to become something more, and like we got to leave our mark in the world. You don't need to leave a mark on anything. You leave a mark in the hearts of the people that are still around. But eventually, you're going to die, and everybody they're all going to die, and you're going to be forgotten. Maybe you're going to be mentioned in the history book somewhere. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Trying to achieve something. I mean, look, I'm not saying don't go and achieve things. Don't go out and, don't just sit around and be a lump on a log. Go out and live your life, but don't have that focus. When we have that focus of, oh, I've got to be great and everybody's got to love me and everybody's got to appreciate, Once you stop caring what other people think, once you give up that whole thing of making my mark in the world, when you stop doing that, you just open yourself up to so much beauty, so much love, so much joy. Yeah, even if you're a celebrity, we're all going to be forgotten eventually. Yep. Doesn't matter. Just get out there and live. Yep, you're nothing special. Gotta live. Annie Bobin, for extreme empaths, it's extremely hard to not be able to help. We don't really always realize how full our plate is. Don't feel guilty. Empaths have a tough job. Someone's like, yes. This is I'm not going to claim myself to be an empath in any way, but I understand this concept is that you cannot fix everybody. In fact, you can't fix anybody. You aren't going to solve and fix everybody's problems. And even though you feel that you have an understanding of what they need and you feel and you understand all these things and they can become a burden and you want to help them. But if they aren't in a position where they're ready to be helped or in a position themselves to do anything about it, you can't feel guilty about that. You can't hold on to all of that negative energy. You just have to accept that people are on their own journey and their own path, and if they want and or need your help, that will open up to you and to them. But if not, you just have to just accept that you can't fix everybody and just let it go. Rodney Norman, sorry, I accidentally typed Randy. It's okay. I get called Randy all the time. I don't know why, but I do. But I'm curious what songs make you feel the most raw human emotion. Oh, gee, that's a great question. When I was a kid, my favorite song to listen to, and I was just thinking about this the other day, was Seasons in the Sun. Because it's a song about a guy who's dying. Some people have said that it's about him killing himself, but no, he's dying, and he's saying goodbye, and he's just telling people, hey, thank you for being a part of my life. I love you, and think of me when I'm gone, but I've had a good life. Don't feel bad about it. And as a kid, that resonated with me. So, and to this day, and it's somewhat some would say it's a corny song, but man, I love that song. That one always gets to me. By Terry Jacks. A lot of Beach Boys songs. One in particular is John B. I Want to Go Home. I love that one. Billy Jack. Oh, there was this song. There was this movie when I was a kid. It was called Bless the Beasts and the Children. And in that, the song was provided by the Carpenters. And that's a song by the Carpenters called Bless the Beasts and the Children. And, the story is it's like this summer camp these kids are all at. And as part of the camp or nearby the camp, there's this range where they would shoot, where you could go and shoot buffalo. You could pay money to go and shoot buffalo. And Sloop John B. That's it. Yeah. But as the movie goes, it's just kind of misfit kids in the camp, and they become involved in this. I haven't seen it in a long time. I need to go watch it again. But Anyway, I remember seeing this kid as a movie, and it made me cry. In the 70s, there was a lot of sad movies, like Old Yeller, that kind of, we were always, it was amazing. So, anyways, but I love that song. So when I really want to feel emotional, I listen to that. Do you believe money? No, I do not believe money is the root of all evil. I believe the love of money is the root of all evil, because money makes you more of who you are. I've seen a lot of people who become very famous very quickly in my industry, and I've seen people become very wealthy very quickly, and money just reveals more of who you are. I've seen people who, once they have money, become absolute monsters, but grateful that the majority of them become absolutely beautiful, even more beautiful, because now they have the money to do things for people that they care about, and they do that. I've seen money absolutely bless people's lives, and they've taken the money and they've shared it and they help people. So no, I don't think that money is evil itself. I think it's like anything else. It's when you use money as power to control and manipulate other people, or use it to aggrandize yourself, that can be a problem. But no, money is not the root of all evil. It is the love of money that is the root of all evil. Seasons of the Sun and Us and Them are songs that stick with me. Yeah, yeah. Also, Bread. I love listening to Bread. Um, I don't know what happened. I just all of a sudden it just clicked me out of the thing. Um, but yeah, I used to listen to Bread all the time. I love them. They were one of my favorites. If Everything I Own, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I went to click on something, and all of a sudden I was dropped out of the broadcast. So I'm not sure what that was. But thank you, everybody who hung out and stayed here. I appreciate it. This has been going on forever. Am I real? I don't know. I have evidence to the contrary. I've always prayed I could win the lottery because I'd be able to help people, of course, pay off my bills and get a new house and car. But I really want to help people that have less than me. I think that's a desire most of us have. Um, all of us, most good people want to become rich. When I see rich people who spend all their money on just buying lots of lavish things, and I feel bad for them, because in a way, because they because that's important. Whereas if I had that kind of money, instead of buying really fancy cars and crap, I would be doing, I would be helping people. I would be doing, and not just giving money away. I don't believe in just giving people money for the giving of people money, but doing things to help them and to help other people. I totally believe that. Um, are you real? It's all Memorex, my friend. It's all Memorex. Hey, this is very kind of you. Third Coast, thanks. Thank you, Third Coast. Thank you for the contribution. I appreciate it. Just so you know, on if you're those of you on Facebook, if you're not familiar with YouTube, how it works. When you go live on YouTube, people who are there can participate by making donations to you um, with these little things and just sort of show their support for what you're doing. So it's really awesome. Thank you very, very much, Thurkois. I appreciate you. A quote I had recently, what's your take? Don't try to drive the homeless into places we find suitable. Help them survive in places they find suitable. Yeah, I think there's a lot to that. I've hung out with a lot of homeless people, and many of them are there because that's where they want to be. They're comfortable there. They don't want the responsibility of a house and stuff. I know that seems weird, but that's there. I think that the homeless situation can be resolved very easily. Uh, it's one of those things that just brings me a lot of heartache because it's terrible what we've allowed to happen. And instead of actually fixing it, it's just being used. All of the homeless are just being used as pawns in a political game, and as we all are, but them for them in more ways than not. And I mean, when they start arresting people for going and feeding homeless people, that to me is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I believe that this there's a lot of wisdom in this because yeah, a lot of these people just don't want help. Hey, what the hell? What the hell is that? What am I doing on there? I didn't post that. Is there another Rodney? Okay, this is an imposter. If you look at that name, Rodney Norman Douglas, I don't know who this is. This is not me. So if you guys could let this person know that whatever it is that they're doing, they're wrong. This is not me. This is the kind of crap I have to deal with all the time. I don't know who this person is. This is not me. Somebody's created a fake account. So please don't follow this person. Or if you do, if you help me out and just report them because I don't know why they're doing this. And I don't. Look, the problem is that people will post stuff as me, and it's really rather ridiculous. And I dislike this. So I don't know who this person is, and I don't know why they're doing this. It's just weird that they would make a comment in my own. I don't know who this person is. I don't know why they're doing this. I don't suspect it's for anything good. I don't. I got a lot of people. This is happening to me on TikTok a lot. They're creating accounts and then they're going liking people, becoming friends with people who like me, and then they're trying to get in them to send money, and it's really rather despondent, disappointing. And yeah, I report them, and TikTok does nothing about it because I'm not. I'm not verified yet. What is dirty skate? Oh, yeah. People send me things. And this is from they're called Dirty Skate. They're in Kent, Ohio. And they sent me this. They sent me 2 T-shirts and they sent me a bunch of stickers. Dirty Skate. They're skateboarding because I'm a counterculture icon, and so people who are in this case, so that's them. That's who they are. They just they sent me some stuff. They sent me pictures, and I wore one of their T-shirts on stage last night, and they're pretty cool. They've been really cool, just supportive. They just said, "Hey, we love you, and we love what you're doing," and they wanted to be supportive, so they sent me some stuff. Um, so that's what it is. Thank you for mentioning it. And thank you everybody who just wants to just share things with me. All my tie-dye T-shirts, just so you know. All my tie-dye T-shirts are made by fans, and they are amazing. They are amazing. Ricky Hall works for Mack Truck. Hey, yeah, my dad was a diesel mechanic and a truck driver, and so I love that. So this is really kind of my homage to my dad. Mack Trucks and Peterbilt were what he mostly used. But yeah, the Mack Truck. I just love him. Norm, please let people know that they can watch the channel Invisible People to learn about what's happening in the world of the houselessness. I live in a van as a nomad traveling the West. Oh, well, I will have to, you know what? Send me a message and I'd love to chat with you. Let's do a live session. I'd love to chat with you because yeah, the homelessness situation is one that I would really think we could find a better way of dealing with. And so I will definitely do that. Invisible People. Look for your channel, Invisible People, my friends. Carlos Grasso. Send it. See, you don't have to send me. Somebody sent me $500 yesterday, which was amazing. I cannot, but you don't need to send that much. You can send $2 like that. That's awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you. You have no idea how this helps me. Because I do want to become rich so I can help other people. I'm not rich. I'm nowhere near being rich at all. I'm not complaining. My bills are mostly paid. I don't have to worry about where my next meal is coming from. I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful to all of it. Truly grateful. But your little donations, they really do. They help. They help. And I cannot thank you enough. So thank you, Carlo Grasso. Very kind of you. Sarah Floyd, thank you. You have a great day too, man. You too. Pink Floyd's On the Turning Away is really beautiful. The music video is very moving. I love Pink Floyd. I love Pink Floyd. So I used to listen to Off the Wall. Pink Floyd's The Wall. Off the Wall's different. That was Michael Jackson. But Pink Floyd's The Wall, I used to listen to that over and over again when I was a kid. Like over and over again. I'm disabled and have crap income, but if I had, I'd give. Sure love you, Uncle Roy. Hey, take care, Holy Outlaw. So there, you don't just have to help me. You can help Holy Outlaw. He disabled and has crap income. If you have a way to help him make some money, you got a business idea where he could help you out or something, that'd be cool. But thank you, Holy Outlaw. Wish you the best, my friend. Get ready for work. Good day. Hey, thank you, Space Peanut. You have a good day, my friend. As soon as another channel serves the Invisible People. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we'll do a thing on homelessness. I'll reach out to you guys and I'll check out these channels. Thank you for bringing me up when I'm having a bad day. Love you to pieces. Thank you, Janice. I hope you do have a marvelous day. Thank you. It's an honor to be a part of your lives, everyone. It really is. It truly is. I love Pink Floyd too. At one point in my life, I thought it should be required listening, but that kind of goes against the grain. It does. Isn't that funny how we do that to ourselves? Yeah, it's the best. Aaron Omatic, $5. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. Your video, Simone, turned into night shift, giving a report to day shift is literally spot on. And my friends in our EMS field absolutely love it and joke about it all the time. That is probably the best use of any of my material I think anyone's ever done. Is they memed that into the night shift, day shift meme. And there's been so many variations of it, but that's my favorite. And yeah, that was let's just say this. Let me just say this. If I ever end up in a hospital somewhere, I know I'm going to be really well cared for because I have a lot of people in who are nurses, medical professionals, doctors, also cops, firemen. Who are just amazing fans because of that meme. And I can't think it is fun. That's the funnest thing about creating something and then putting it out there, and then other people take it and do something with it themselves and become something else that was you never planned on it being that. And it's so much fun seeing that kind of stuff. It really is. It really is so much fun. Aaron Armag, thank you again. But yeah, nurses, medical professionals, just you guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's true, Mike. I agree with you. Your shout out to Mack Trucks so I can show my fellow coworkers, please, and things. Okay, here we go. There's the Mack Truck. Hello, Mack Truck people. We love Mack Trucks. There's my Mack Truck shirt that I bought it. I got this one at Tractor Supply. So hello, everybody at Mack Trucks. You're wonderful and amazing human beings. You make a wonderful and beautiful product. How's that? Does that work, Ricky? Floyd album Montgomery is great for Halloween. I played for years, giving out candy. It's coming. That's great. That made me feel like I was freaking awesome. Well, you are freaking awesome. Hephaestus. Hephaestus. I like that name. That's cool. You play video games? I think Twitch would be a great place for you to stream. I have a Twitch account. I think I'm live right now on Twitch. I never get in. No one follows me on Twitch. But maybe I should start doing that. Maybe I'll play like old school games. I used to be really good at Dig Dug and Space Invaders. Oh, you're welcome, Aaron. Thank you for making me slow down and take it easy. I appreciate that, man. I love doing that. Hey, thank you, Tyler Bell. Appreciate you. I got a lot of strange videos, and I'm gonna be making more. We're gonna be making more stuff. In fact, I should probably go do that now. I've been going. This is 2.5 hours. Holy cow! This is like a job. You guys are amazing. Anyway, so things come. Okay, just so you know, things coming up. I got a show this Thursday night in South Egremont, Massachusetts. So me doing the live stand-up comedy. Other people will be involved. It will be a lot of fun. You see this writing? Hello. So hello, Jacob Twitch 911. So yes, I got a viewer on Twitch. Woohoo! Yes, it did. Thank you, Jacob, for letting me know. I'm on. I am. It tells me I'm on Twitch. I don't. I need to set that up better. I need to do something more with Twitch. You should play Hangman. That's funny, Matthew. Perhaps you should play Hangman. Yes, that I love that. You know what that means? That means Matthew has watched my stand-up. He knows what I'm talking about. I know what he's talking about. That was brilliant. Do you ever make it up North Dakota? Do any shows? I will. I've been in talks with stuff in South Dakota, and I'm sure we'll make it up there. Am I retired? No, I have nothing to retire from. No, I've been doing stand-up comedy since 1998. I've had other kinds of jobs. I've done construction. I've done roofing, siding, framing, finished carpentry, masonry work. But no, I just do stand-up comedy. I'm not retired. CT shows. Yes, September 10th in Putnam, Putnam, Connecticut. I'll be on the show there, the Bradley Theater. And I've got other shows that I am currently putting together. But yes, I do have, again, rodneynorman.com for all of that. On the turning away, Jedi Bunny. This is okay. Thank you for spending some time with us. Rodney, Pink Floyd's On the Turning Away. Beautiful video using puppets here on YouTube, and it reflects on turning away from the homeless. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I'm trying to get there. Oh, okay, everybody. This is Justin Evans, one of my dear friends from high school that I've kept in touch over the years. This man is an absolute delight, and I love him dearly. And yes, when I was in high school, we started a thing. A friend of mine, John Hopkinson, and myself, we started a club, because at the end of the year, they would have the photos at the of all the different clubs and things in the back of the yearbook. And so we came up with this idea to get in as another photo in the yearbook. This is entirely how this started. Was if we became an official club, then they had to put a photo of us in the yearbook. So we came up with this idea to come up with a club, just for that purpose. But we had to have a reason for the club. And so what we did was we started what was called the Springville High School Fun Bunch. And we were the largest organized club in school history. We had more members than anybody for any club ever. And we would do really strange things. One of the things that we started doing, which was one of my favorite things, was we started going to the girls' basketball games, and we would go and we would cheer and we would be obnoxious. We would mock and ridicule the other team. And we would we even started having our own male cheerleaders squad, and we would lead cheers, and we would go absolutely whenever the girls on our team scored, we would go absolutely crazy. I mean, we went nuts. I mean, we would celebrate like no one's ever celebrated before. And we got people were coming to the girls' games just to watch us, but they became involved in the girls' team anyway. And then so we brought attention to the girls' basketball team because everybody was going to the boys' games, but no one go to the girls' games. And so we would go and we would get in a section. We would get a couple, 100 people to show up to a girls' basketball game, which usually the girls' teams would only get just maybe a few friends and their parents would all. That's all that would show up to these games. So we would go and we would just put on a spectacle and just cheer our guts out for the girls' teams, and ended up going with them all the way through the state championships and stuff and playoffs, and we just had fun. We just enjoyed. The goal was to just we were just out to have fun and spread positivity, and so we took it upon ourselves to cheer for the girls' basketball teams, and then we would just host silly events throughout the day and throughout the weeks. And we had a member of the club whose father had been involved with the Donnie and Marie show. Donnie and Marie had a TV show in the 70s, and they had a studio in Orem, Utah. And so there were a lot of people in Utah Valley who worked for the Osmonds. Well, this guy, I don't know how or why, but this dude had boxes and boxes of Donnie and Marie t-shirts. And and he just donated them to the club. And so that became our official costume, was a Donnie and Marie t-shirt, or our official club gear. And it kind of freaked people out because all of a sudden one day just everybody is wearing a Donnie and Marie t-shirt at school. And but we would do a lot of stuff like that. We would have days where we would we, instead of having school sponsored dress up days, we would just create our own. So we had Star Wars days. We had Lord of the Rings Day. So everybody just showed up wearing bathrobes because we all dressed like Gandalf. That kind of stuff. It was really crazy. This was in Springville High School. Would have been I graduated in '87. But thank you for bringing that up. Just we had, if you find a yearbook, you can see the Fun Bunch. We are the largest group. Me and my friend John Hopkins. It was so much fun. It was. We just had a blast. I wish I would have done more with it. It kind of became its own thing, also, because we didn't have a centralized authority. So people in the club could just make up their own stuff and go do. And so we would host barbecues. We would have luncheons during lunch. We would have food brought in. It was just crazy. Yes. 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 We went Christmas caroling on New Year's Eve. That kind of just, oh, it was ridiculous. We would just be ridiculous. It was the whole point of the club was it was a club for people who didn't like being in clubs. And it was a delight and it was fun. And Justin became a big part of that club. And he was so funny. Zon TV. I cleaned my room for the first time in 8 months while watching this video. Keep posting. And I cleaned the rest of my house. Also, do you like Miracle Nutrition with Hardy White? I don't know what that is. I don't know what Miracle Nutrition is. But thank you. But yeah, we would just the more ridiculous the thing that we could come up with, we would do it, and people would jump in on it, and we just had so much. It was fun. It was just a fun club. We just did ridiculous things. But yeah, it just gave an outlet to everybody who was like you did. Not everybody was into chess or whatever, and it was just a club that the whole point of the club was we're just here to have a good time. The only thing we have in common is we're here, and let's do something with it. And it was fun. It was just, but yeah, it was called the Fun Bunch, and that's all we did was just be ridiculous all the time. In fact, there was this one thing that we did. There was a video that was put out. And if you're from Utah, you know about this video. It's called "The Cipher in the Snow," and it was about this story of this kid who had a very difficult life and felt unnoticed, unappreciated, and one day he just drops dead in the snow at the bus stop. And it's a serious subject, but it was so it's kind of a silly. But anyway, but it's a serious tones. But anyway, so then we had one day we had a contest of who could die we had Cipher in the Snow contest, and where people the whole thing was who could die in the snow the most dramatic, and people it was one of the dumbest things. It was a fun thing. I encourage people. We need to bring back the Fun Bunch. Again, it was the whole idea was, it got a lot of people who weren't involved in other things. You just didn't feel like they belonged anywhere. You belonged there. the geeks and the freaks and the weirdos. That was us. It was an entire group. It was fun. It was really fun. It was so much fun. What's this? Can I share one of my tracks here, Rodney? I'm not sure how we would do it. Send it to me, and I'll figure out how to add it on to another. Email it to me, and let me hear it. And I'll get you added on. So go there to there. You can send me emails. You can buy merch, everything. But send me what you want to play. If you have something you want to share with the group, send it here. Let me see it. And nothing gets to you. It's just I've been burned on this before, where I've offered to share something and then it turned out to be something I probably didn't want to share. And again, nothing against you. You just have seen any comedy movies or TV shows you have a familiar been? Nothing that's out there now. There is a movie that's going to be out, I think, in February called Jeebus, where I play God. That will be out soon. Fun needs to be a presidential slogan. Well, my campaign is going to be make America laugh again. Um, so let's see you react to Abbott and Costello. That's funny. But anyway, okay. We've been here almost 3 hours. This is like a job. It's a fun job. If this is all I ever did, I would be happy. But yeah, we need to laugh again. Maybe should I bring back the Fun Bunch? Should I bring back the Fun Bunch? That would be our political parties, the Fun Bunch. They're like, "What's your political stance?" We're just here to have a good time. That's it. We're just here to have a good time. We don't know what we're doing. We're just here to have fun. We're gonna have just weird barbecues. We're gonna have barbecues where everybody has to dress up like Star Wars characters. Let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna. You want to become a part of Rodney Norton's Fun Bunch? Let's do it. Justin Evans has to be involved. He's going to become Justin Evans is going to be part of the organization. Bring it back as a super PAC next week. Let's do it. Let's do it. Anyway. Okay. Well, I'm going to go start organizing the Fun Bunch, I guess. We got to see if we can find some Donnie and Marie t-shirts. Anybody know where I can find some Donnie and Marie t-shirts? I wish if there's anybody out there who has one of those shirts, I think I had about 4 of them, and when I went off to college, my brothers and sisters started wearing them, and I never saw them again. I know what happened to them. I don't know what happened to my Donnie Marie t-shirts, but yeah, pancake breakfast. Let's do a pancake breakfast. I think we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Okay, I'm gonna post. I'll get it set up. We're gonna do the Fun Bunch. We're gonna start doing some events. This is gonna be fun. Okay. So now this will be a fun project. All right. So we'll get going on that. Okay, we've been at this way too long. People got things to do. This is a great question. Let me go ahead. Let's talk about this, and then we're gonna go. How do you stay positive through everything going on? What's your secret? In fact, I am writing a book currently, and the title of the book is going to be "How to Be Happy When Everything is Horrible." The secret is really comes down to just knowing that all of this is temporary. Whatever it is that is going on is not going to go on forever. Stop watching the news. That's the real Jacob. That's a very positive thing. Most news is designed to manipulate you. It's not there to inform you. It's there to manipulate you. It's there to distract you from the truth. Whatever the news is, it's a distraction. It's there to get you to feel and do things. But when you start ignoring it and just start paying attention to your own life and enjoying yourself, you'll find that all these negative things that are going on really aren't real for the most part. Um, and the negative things in your own life that are real. I mean, I certainly have my troubles. I have uh, my own problems, but not letting the world get you down, not letting uh, the situation dictate to you who and what you are, or your own personal happiness. As I've said, my own personal happiness is not dependent on external events. I don't need to be at Disneyland to be happy. I don't need to be on vacation to be happy. I don't need anything outside of me to make me happy. I can be by myself and be perfectly content, perfectly happy. And when you're at that way, basically you become your own happy space. You become your own happy place. And when you find that happiness and contentment is within you, and that it's all a decision that you make, and that external events are good, bad, or otherwise, there's no reason to get excited about them at all, because they're temporary. All of it, good, bad, is all temporary. But you are a constant, a continuation. And when you find within yourself that greater joy and happiness, when you decide yourself to just be happy, that you are content with who you are, that you're happy with who you are, you accept you for who you are, you're going to find yourself at peace. And the things going on around you aren't going to matter. They're not going to drag you down. You aren't going to be dependent. You don't have to have something happen to make you happy, because you're already happy and you're already content, and you're always just going to enjoy regardless. And when you do that, when you just accept that and just become your own happy person in your own happy space, what's going on around you doesn't matter. I mean, even as bad as it gets, I often refer to the book by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, is a brilliant example of that. That with all the negativity going on in the world, with everything negative in your own world, and if you let those things sway you one way or the other, you're going to lose your peace. You're going to lose your happiness. But when you just don't allow the outside to be an influence on who and what you are are just easier to deal with things. You don't get upset. You don't get mad at the world. You don't feel like you're owed anything. And you find yourself just being a happier person when you stop trying to control everything. That's the other thing, is when you're trying to control things, when you're trying to make things happen, you're just setting yourself up for disaster. Now, I'm not saying stop doing things. I mean, still, but it's understanding that nature of flow and of energy, that when you are a positive and you're creating positive energy and you're doing positive things will happen. May not always happen the way you want them. May not always happen when, but they will open up to you when you stop forcing things and just start being things, and you just start doing things, and doing things with pure intent, with pure joy, with pure just pureness. That you're not out to control and manipulate other people. You're not out there to take from other people, but you're out there to build and create something new. That energy is amazing. Is amazing, and that my friend, is the goal. Do I separate myself from negative people? No, you can't. If they're destructive to me, then yeah, I've had people that I've just cut out of my life because they're one, they refuse to be better, and if they're not really if they're harmful to some degree, I do. You have to let negative people out of your life, especially if they're trying to control and manipulate you and use you. There's no reason to continue to let them do that, none whatsoever. So yeah, it's you can let negativity go, let it slip away, and if you have to, just force it away because there's no reason. You don't need it in your life. I have had negative people that I've met and I've gotten to know and I've helped them. But I wouldn't say I've helped them, but they've come around and they've become positive. Um, that's fun. But no, if you feel like you need to change somebody, then maybe you should just not be around that person. This is an interesting question. Isn't it hard to accept things that you know need to change, although you know you yourself can't change them by yourself? Well, now that depends on what it is. If you're talking about personal things about you, then you can change, and but you'll never change until you accept the responsibility of doing so. You'll never change who you are or what's going on within your world until you accept the fact that you can change. And if you're always thinking that something else is going to help me change or I need someone else to help me change, then you'll never solve that problem. You'll never get over that. But there's a wisdom in knowing that what you can change and what you can't. And that's externally, the things out there in this world that I can't solve all the problems of the world. But what I can solve, I can't solve the homelessness situation. I can't fix every homeless person's problems. But when I'm given the opportunity to help someone, I can. One of the things I started doing a long time ago, because I travel a lot and I see homeless people on the side of the road begging for things. One of the things I started doing was keeping a little things that I would give. I always like to give bottles of water because they can always help. I'll even give cans of soda. Give somebody a nice have a cooler full of beverages. Not unlike this one from Bison Coolers. But I keep a cooler in my car, and when I see somebody, I'll give them a cold drink, give them a candy bar. I'm sure they're feeling miserable. Every once in a while, just having a kid that nobody thinks to give a homeless person a candy bar. I do. I give candy to homeless people. I did have a lady one time. I went to give her a candy bar. She says, "I can't have that. I'm diabetic." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And so I gave her. I actually had some because I'm diabetic myself, and so I had some sugar-free diabetic stuff with me. I gave that to her, and she was just delighted. I mean, she was like, "Oh, I can't believe what?" I was like, "Yeah." I gave her diabetic candy. It was kind of fun. So, yes, as Elliot here is saying, serenity prayer is you accept the things you can't change. You just accept them because they are what they are. It's like a building. You have a building that let's say in New York City, the Empire State Building. It's been there our whole lives. It's there. You being angry about the Empire State Building being where it is isn't going to change anything. It's still going to be there, right? You can be mad about it if you want. It ain't going to change anything. You can be happy about it. I ain't going to change anything. It's just there. It's just there. It's always there. It's going to be there. A mountain. You can be mad about a mountain being somewhere. It's still going to be there. You're going to change that mountain from being there, right? You're not going to change any of that. So you just accept it that it's there, right? And you just work around it. Well, a lot of things in life are like that, where there are things that you just can't do. You can't stop them. You can't change them, but you have to just deal with it, work around it, right? There are things you can change. And when you understand that the wisdom comes from what can I do and what can I not do. And just knowing that you take the things you can do and just start doing them. That's it. Just learned that the life is just a beautiful thing, and it's full of mystery and wonder, and enjoy yourself. Yes, I am married. In fact, if you were here earlier, 3 hours. Holy cow. Um, I am married. I have a beautiful bride. Her name is Teresa. We will be married 30 years on September 11th. And that's a great question. Favorite Elvis song? Thinking About You. What's yours? Again, that's like saying what's my favorite book. Elvis. If I Can Dream, I think is one of my favorites, and also I just love Elvis. I love everything. I love Elvis. So, knowing me and my gifts of walking into things, I would walk right into a wall. I think I have humor about this talent. Yeah. When you take your quirks and your things that you think are failures and mistakes, and you realize that they're not, it makes life just more enjoyable. My life, it's upside down, man. I lost everything last year. Oh dear. I even lost one of my friends to drug use. Oh, he's not deceased. I sold him out to his family to try to help him. Now he's retaliating. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to make very difficult decisions to help somebody. You know, I've been in this position many times where I've had to just, basically, you feel like I wouldn't say I'm turning my back on him, but you just have to just let it go, because you can't keep enabling their situation, because that's not helping them. That's not doing any good. And sometimes you just have to do the difficult thing. And yeah, I'm so sorry you're going through that, my friend, but I'm so sorry. That is that's terrible. My son ran into a tree when he wasn't looking while playing tag. He's been clumsy ever since, but it doesn't faze him. Yeah. Lord, grant me the strength to accept things I can not change, the strength to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I'm slow. What's right? Well, don't. Yeah. Serenity prayer, I think, is one of the things. The serenity prayer needs to be shared with everybody. Everybody needs to know the serenity prayer. It's used in Alcoholics Anonymous, but it's this. It's just accept the things I cannot change and the strength to change the things that I can. The wisdom, know the difference. It's beautiful. Fruit, travel size Snickers or crackers, sunscreen, wet wipes, cold weather, little heat hot pocket packages, yeah, and socks. Homeless people need socks and underwear, and that's a good thing. If you want to help a homeless person, give them a bottle of water and some socks. They will appreciate you. Am I a preacher? No, I am not a preacher. I am not a preacher. I have thought about doing a. Okay, so here's my deal. I love sharing the gospel with people. I love talking about God. I love talking about the Bible. I love talking about philosophy. I do not, however, ever want to be in a position where talking about God is my job, as it were. I'm really against the idea of making money being a man of God. You know what I mean? So, and nothing against preachers, and I think they provide a great service and they help people, and I am not being critical of them at all. But for myself, I could never, if I were to preach, I guess if you were, I would not do it for money. And if any money came from it, I would give it to charities or homeless. Um, I have thought about actually starting a Sunday series, or basically just share a sermon every Sunday. And the idea would be it would be uh, about basically a preacher. I would preach. I would, but uh, more about how to become a better person, how to be a good person. Um, and I would be willing to do that. And again, my issue is, and I thought about doing it separate from doing a separate channel on YouTube and do it on there, and where I would basically do a sermon every Sunday, um, anywhere from a half hour to 45 minutes, and but I have no desire to make money off of it. Are you with me on this? I have no desire to make money as a preacher. I don't like the idea. Um, and I would do it just for the pure joy of just sharing the good word with people and the hope. You know, religion can bring hope. It can bring uh, joy and that and meaning and purpose. And I'd love to do that. And I've thought about doing it, but I don't want again, I don't want that to be my profession, because I don't want to make money. I don't want to make profit from. So it's a weird thing. It's like I want to do it. I want to share it. And if for some reason I did get money for doing it, I would take that all of the money and give it, put it towards, like we have a, a, a a food bank here locally. I would use the money for that, or I would use it to help people, like the people in Kentucky who are having issues because of the flooding. I've talked to a couple of them. I would like to help them in some way, and maybe I could do that. I could start doing the sermon, and then if you want to share, if you want to give money to it specifically for that, right? Because of the sermon, you want help with that, then whatever I gained from that would go to help other people. But I would have to figure out how to set that up. So in order to do it, so that I don't get taxed for the money, I would have to set up as a religious organization or some, I don't know. But I don't have a publisher. I'm going to probably self-publish at this point in time. So, but yeah. So and I don't want to be, I don't want to preach a particular. It would just be me. This is my thing. Is it would just be my experience with God, and how you can develop a stronger relationship with God, and how you can be a better person. And it's, to me, is what really the message of the gospel is that you yourself can have a personal relationship with God, that you don't need all this, and that, or churches are good, and churches can do good things, and they have the community and all of those good things. But when it really comes down to it, you need to have that relationship with God personally, and that you can have that. And that would be my message: is how to develop that relationship, how to become a better person through it all. But I don't want to make money doing that. You know, I don't want to. Um, That's all there is. And I want to spread that message. I want to share that message. And again, I'm not being critical of churches. I don't. I think that they are. I encourage you to go to a church. I encourage you to be involved. There's a lot of just good people, great people at churches that are doing great and amazing things. But there are many that aren't. That they're just in it for the money. And again, I'm not going to be critical of who they are. You can make your own conclusions. But that's one of the things that I see as a problem with Christianity right now, is that so many people are using religion as a power play. It's more aggrandizing themselves. They're not really there to glorify God. They're there to glorify themselves. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to glorify myself. I'm just a goofball knucklehead that makes silly videos. That's it. That's who I am. I'm just a goofball, just trying to share a little joy and happiness in the world. That's who I am. I don't think I'm not the answer. I know I appreciate that people appreciate the things I'm saying, but as I've said before, I'm not saying anything new. I'm the things that I know and the things that I've learned and the perspectives I've gained from reading, Viktor Frankl, from reading the Bible, reading scriptures, reading philosophy, reading history. I'm just taking the same message that many others have shared and sharing it with everyone else in a different way. That's it. And yeah, the funny sounds you hear in the back are my dogs. They're asleep and they're making funny noises in their sleep. That's how my dogs talk in their sleep. At least Doug. But yeah, that is my dog dreaming in the background. What philosopher would I recommend? Marcus Aurelius. That's a good place to start. Again, because Stoic philosophy is really about how to conduct yourself personally, how to look at the world. Alan Watts. I would encourage you to read Alan Watts. I think he provides some very good perspectives on just living your life and being happy. So. He's my dog dreams quite a bit, and I had kind of an interesting experience with my dog Doug. He was sleeping and he was dreaming, and I'm not sure what he was dreaming about, but he started moving his legs like he was running, and all of a sudden then he startled and he woke up. And then all he wanted to do was cuddle. Like he was like, I don't know if he had a nightmare or what, but he was definitely wanted some attention. But yeah, I a lot of great books. But Marcus Aurelius. Let's see what. Here's some of my books. So I have those, and then I have this group over here. These are just some of my books. When I move, it's people are like, what are you doing with all these books? Have you read all these books? And I like, oh, absolutely not. Why would you want to have a bunch of books you've already read? Of course, I can't get rid of any of the books I've actually. There's most of them I've read. Thank you, Bob. I'm enjoying my stupid life. Good deal. I've got a library. I don't have a full library. I'm always anyway. Okay, I gotta go. I got some things I gotta go do. I gotta mow a lawn and fix a car, and get my Mr. Cool system. I haven't been able to. I've got a Mr. Cool system, and I have not been able to get it to function. It's not. I don't know what the deal is. So I'll put together a reading list. I'll talk about my favorite books next time. That's what we'll do. Next live, I'm going to bring out my 10 favorite books and why you should read them. How's that sound? So, yeah. Okay, so I've been here for 3 hours and 15 minutes. Come here, Doug. Come here, Doug. Doug's awake. Come here, Doug. Let's see, Doug. This is Doug, everybody. He's just up from a dream. I think he needs to use the bathroom. He needs to go outside. But so I'm thinking I'm going to go live. You know what? We'll go live tonight if you're around. We'll talk about 10. I'll find 10 of my favorite books. I hate to say, oh, just read these 10. There's so many great things to read, but I'll come up with some of my favorite books and I'll share them with you either today or tomorrow. I'll be back here again tomorrow, 10 a.m. I think I'm going to do this regularly every day at 10. Just sit and have a conversation with everybody, share with you my thoughts on what's going on in the world without getting political. And no, next time, not next live. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you, everybody who donated, contributed. Thank you for your comments. Thank you, everybody who shared this. Thank you for hanging out with me, even though at some point in time, for some reason, I separated. So you guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out with me. You guys make my life just a pure joy. And it's still, you can go back and watch this. It's still there. It's on YouTube. If you want to watch the whole thing, it's on YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel. Also, just love and appreciate all of you. Have a super freaking awesome day. But I'm going to go get something to eat and mow my lawn. Okay. Bye.